Hey guys, what is up? Winners win from Pure Sports. I got Travis today because I got Title on the other side. So Travis is definitely doing some GPP stuff today. I got Title with us today too. I'm Holden and Captain's back in the studio. And what we're going to do is get to this little 4-game afternoon slate on FanDuel. We could also talk about the DraftKings salaries too. We'll get to the night slate as well. And what is it, like a 6-game slate on DraftKings, right? So we got a 4 in the day, then we got 6 at night. So we'll break down all 8 games. It's not too much. And then we will get into the NBA and break that down. By the way, Title, how you feeling, buddy? Your Bucks just amazing right now. They're going they're down to nothing, and they're just ready to go on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, so, I mean, I said on Monday, this would be a tough series. I mean, we're very outcoached. I don't know how Coach Bud has a job. You can't, I mean, what do you say to Middleton's 5th foul with 4 minutes left in the game for next game? I mean, doesn't play Dante DiVincenzo. I could go on and on. He's played well, made timely shots. People that are blaming the refs and stuff, you can't, I mean, if you're Giannis, you can't put yourself in that situation after just getting a favorable call or a controversial call on the other end. You can't blame the refs there. He didn't affect the shot, the closeout, just disappointing on his end, but I still have faith in them, buying in on the talent, but it's definitely not looking great. And then I got another rant from another game that even got me more mad. This is my guy Bogard. All love Bogart, but man, you are tilting me. So this right here, if you guys can see,
God.
this is not a 2K pass. Anybody can make this pass. I'm not saying that maybe he misses the layup, maybe whatever happens. You have to make this pass. Nobody is weak side. It's a layup to send it in overtime. Somebody on Twitter was saying the Rockets wanted to go to overtime and not give him the 3. What? That doesn't even make sense. You give him a contested 3 or a wide open layup for OT. It blows my mind. Steven Adams should have sealed him better.
All right.
Billy Donovan.
I regret asking you the question.
This is a rant I needed. This is a rant I needed.
Good.
So
good.
It was tilting, but I'm ready to move on. I had to get that out of the way. That is the easiest pass in basketball, and you are finishing that for OT.
All right. Just so you know, Travis put his whole bankroll on the Clippers. So just know that's going down, but we'll get to the NBA in a few minutes. Guys, hey, Travis, what's up, buddy? So my big question for you is how are we handling the weather in Pittsburgh today? Because the Cubs and the Pirates on that 4-game slate on FanDuel, I'm playing that. I'm actually having a tough time differentiating myself a little bit in GPPs. But how are you handling the weather today? Would you go Cubs or Pirates stack?
Yeah, I think you can go to that game. The more I've looked at it, I was worried at first, but I think it's okay. I think it'll go from everything we're seeing. We're getting closer to lock. Obviously, earlier, I know JT was in the Discord and it wasn't looking pretty, but things are looking like the storm is moving faster than expected. And I think we'll be okay. Obviously, if things happen behind it, like you're in trouble. But for now, it looks like we're going to be okay. There might be some rain, so don't be too worried. I don't know if you need to go crazy with the Cubs, right? Like if you do worry about it, you don't have to go all in on the Cubs, right? You can maybe get a little bit of exposure to them if you want in your cash games. It depends on how you want to do it. But in tournaments, this is the move, I think, Holden. I still think the Cubs are going to get some ownership. Why not play the Pirates? Like who's playing the Pirates today? No one's playing the Pirates, right? Like they weren't playing the Pirates in general because of all the good spots. And there's weather. Like I just think the Pirates side could be an intriguing side to look at. So maybe a little bit mini stack of those lefties. I think that's the way to approach that game. Cubs, you can play them in cash, and then tournaments, I wouldn't mind looking at those Pirates.
All right, so let's look at the Pirates real quick because they're going up against Mills today. You got a whole bunch of guys to choose from. Cole Tucker, you can go with Reynolds. You can go with Moran in the daytime. You can go with Polanco. So I don't know if this is anything where we feel comfortable with the Pirates, but tell me, how do you attack this team if you're going there?
Yeah, and we're not doing a 5-man pirate stack, right? Like, I don't think that's necessary. A 4-man, I don't think you have to go that, but you could pick your spots. And I would just pick out these lefties, right? Maybe you're playing a Tucker for a little bit of a value, right? He helps, kind of get in some bigger bats throughout your lineup. Maybe he's the guy you go to as a lefty. Maybe you go to Colin Moran. I heard one of our members K Falik, and he's a sharp dude. He's won some money. He said Colin Moran in the daytime, that's a thing. Like, and hey, listen, the last time I was on a show with you and I touted up the Pirates on a short slate, they ended up putting up 10 runs, so it did work out. But Moran, he's a good power lefty, man, so I wouldn't mind going to him. He's in play. Polanco too. I think Polanco's a decent price tag. I wouldn't mind going to him. So I think taking shots on these guys here and there, even in Adam Frazier, right? He's sitting in the 6 hole. Obviously not as great of a spot, but he's in play. So I don't hate these Pirates here. Again, not a 5-man stack spot for me. Maybe looking as a 1-off or a 2-man or 3-man max. That's how I would handle those guys in tournaments.
Real quick, we'll get to the Phillies in a couple of minutes, but if you had a preference today, would it be Rizzo or would it be Hoskins? All things combined, whether it be ownership, production.
Oh man, like that's a tough one because man, like I want to attack this dude Brubaker. Like I'm not a big believer in him. He's someone that I think we can attack with Rizzo, but oh man, I lean Hoskins. I think it depends on price though. I feel like price wise, you could end up going to maybe Rizzo, but I lean Hoskins maybe because I'm a Hoskins homer. And I also think this is the Anibal Sanchez goodbye tour, and I want to be at every event. You know what I mean? I got to be at all the Anibal Sanchez goodbye tour events.
It's the goodbye tour for Anibal Sanchez. Wow, I didn't know about that. Title. Let's do this game here. Cubs, Pirates. How are you handling this game? Give us a couple plays there from the cash side.
Yeah, so I was worried about the weather in the beginning of the day. Wasn't even adding anybody in my cores or any of that, but it's definitely looking better. And on a 4-game slate, I don't love the other offenses besides the Phillies. So I'm taking the chance on the Cubs. I do think they play. It's looking a lot better. Rain went faster, and I love the Cubs a lot on the road. So they get the 9th inning at bat. Been hitting the ball really well. Get Chris Bryant back in the lineup. Ian Happ's been crushing the ball. So I like Happ, Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber. You can stack the bottom of this lineup in tournaments. Not my favorite to do in cash, but I like this lineup top to bottom, and I think the Cubs actually smashed today. So I love the Cubs. I'm hoping weather does keep ownership down. They're definitely going to get some ownership, but I think weather and concerns are going to keep it a little lower than it should, and I'm all in on the Cubs. So top of the order for sure, and I love it. I can't get behind the Pirates. I get it. It's a game theory play for sure. So ownership will be very low with weather, and nobody even wants to play them, but I can't make a case for any of them.
Would you go to Mills in this sense?
I like Greinke and Lynn a lot more. Those are definitely my 2 favorites. And with the weather, I just really don't know if maybe it'll pop, like a delay will pop up. I don't know. It's a little too risky for me, and I like the 2 guys up top, so I'd rather get difference in other spots.
All right, we've got about 25 minutes to lock for the early FanDuel slate here if you're playing the 4 games. So let's hustle through these. We got Texas at Houston. This is probably where a lot of the pitching is going to come from today, whether it be Lance Lynn, 27.7% K rate. I love this. And then Greinke, he's not even walking 4% of the guys. He's striking out 22.3%. He's only given up 32% fly balls. This guy's been spectacular. But if you really want to differentiate yourself, Travis, if you're looking at this, are there any bats? And then which pitcher do you prefer?
Yeah, I would say if I'm going to pick, I'm currently on FanDuel specifically, I'm on Greinke over Lynn. Like, I get it. If you want to try and just attack the K upside with Lynn, or sorry, the K floor in cash games, I get it. But I just think Greinke is the safest. He can obviously save for that quality start. And I think there's more upside for Greinke than in most matchups. Like, if you were going to play Zach Greinke, then it would be against who? The Texas Rangers, right? Like, this is one of the better spots for a Zach Greinke strikeout high upside situation. So I think I'd go with Greinke here. Vegas likes him too. So that's the guy that I'm leaning right now as my number 1 SP on this FanDuel slate. And then if we look on the Astros side, right? Listen, Lance Lynn, he's a good pitcher, right? But he does give up some hard contact. He can. It's not like this guy's just, Max Scherzer or anything like that. And Max Scherzer even gives up home runs here and there. He's not the best pitcher in the world, even though he's pitching lights out. But Michael Brantley, Tucker, those are 2 lefties I would definitely look at. I wouldn't be afraid of, going after a guy like Gurriel. I still think he's another guy that's, perfectly fine and in play. But I would just play maybe one of these guys as a one-off, right? I'm not expecting Lynn to get completely blown up. But if you want to find a differentiator on a 4-game slate, maybe if you're playing Lance Lynn, maybe playing a guy against him, right? One-off like that. Or if you're playing Greinke, maybe just play one-off with like a Tucker or a Gurriel and call it a day.
What about you over there, Title? Any cash here? It's got to be one of the pitchers, right?
Yeah, I'm not targeting any bats, so we can cross that off right away. In cash, I'm leaning Greinke due to the floor. I like the matchup against Texas a lot more. Better chance for a win. I just like Greinke more. But in tournaments, I like Lynn more because I'm gonna chase that upside. You even get a price decrease of Lynn of $700, so that goes a long way. So it's Greinke for me in cash because of the floor, and then Lynn in tournaments for the upside.
All right, guys, this is where it gets interesting then. So we'll flip to the next game, Washington at Philadelphia. Before we do anything, you guys haven't really brought up Zach Eflin because we haven't gotten this game yet. I haven't heard anybody talking about Eflin. It's a guy that's striking out a third of the batters that he's facing. He's got an offense with the Nationals, which has just been abysmal outside of Juan Soto and Trey Turner. And then on the Philadelphia side, they're facing a struggling Anibal Sanchez. My sense is that the Phillies are going to be the chalk here for this game. Travis, so what do we got here? What are we playing with? Are you buying me with Eflin against the Nationals, or is this a fade?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, I said, the Anibal Sanchez goodbye tour. It started, and we're gonna be there. We're definitely gonna be playing some Phillies. I want to see what the lineup is, though, right? Obviously, I just can't play the 1 through 4. Like, I get it. Like, yeah, McCutcheons, Hoskins, Harper, and Realmuto, they're all good, but I think playing 3 of those 4 is probably the move. And then, maybe, let's say you fade Hoskins, right? Not a lot of people are gonna fade Hoskins in their Philly stacks. So what you do is you play, like Big T mentions this all the time. Play Anthony Rizzo, right? And just play him as like a one-off, right? Don't play that. Just play one of Anthony Rizzo on the Cubs, and that's it. And make that your guy in your Philly stack. And then play like someone at the bottom of the order, like a Jay Bruce, who's been crushing the ball. So that's a way you can be different. That's a way to make your Philly stack different from the field. You're not just doing it by saying, hey, I'm going to take one guy out at the top. You're taking one guy out at the top, and then you're going over there and you're taking a guy at the bottom, and you're switching it for a guy that's, again, on a chalky stack. But you're not going to stack it up. You're just playing Rizzo by himself on an island. So, you're kind of alone with that. So, again, that's a way to kind of make your builds a little bit different. But I like the Philly stack. I want to get exposure to it. I think it's probably the top stack on the board, I would say. And we just need that lineup to try and figure out how to, make the pieces work.
Yeah. Here, I want you to give me some feedback on this, because with my build today, I'm only playing one lineup. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the later slate tonight, but for me, I got 1, 2, 3 Cubs. I got 2 Phillies, and I got mixed 3 Phillies, actually, and I mixed a little Soto in there against Zach Eflin to get different. So I think that's a way to do it. There's only 2 guys on the Nationals that are hitting. I decided to pick one of them. What about you, Title? Who's viable in cash here, and why isn't anybody talking about Eflin?
Yeah, so Eflin's just not being talked about as much just because of the game in Houston with Lynn and Greinke. He just falls down the list a little bit. I don't mind him in tournaments, absolutely. I mean, he's going to be low owned. He's looked pretty good. Besides Soto and Turner, like you mentioned, this lineup has been awful. So, but those 2 have been really, really good to keep that lineup going. So, I don't mind it at all in tournaments. He navigates through those 2. It's fine. But going to the hitters, Phillies are clearly the chalk, the best offense. Still don't have a lineup right now, which is kind of annoying with the slate locking soon, but there is a late swap. Just got to make the decision on the first game. Going to target the guys in the top of the order for cash: Hoskins, McCutchen, Bryce Harper, Segura, if he gets up there. I mean, the position at second isn't that great either, but all the Phillies, give me all of them. Whatever fits in my lineup. Going to target the top of the order guys. We just don't know which guys those are yet.
All right, let's move on to the next game.
And then no interest on the other side except Soto or Turner as one-offs.
Yep. The other game, the last game, 4th of 4, is the Yankees at the Mets. What's interesting here is that J. Happ had really not gotten going, and he was upset that he was skipped and he didn't pitch for 13 days. Then he came out and he had 7 1/3 shutout innings and 5 Ks, 41 FanDuel points in his last outing. So, I'm going to call you Mangone, but act like Travis here for a couple more minutes. Do we attack J. Happ today? And then on the other side, Gazelman, the peripheral numbers are not very good. You've got some guys this year that just are slamming right-handers. Voit. I think Hicks is an interesting play. I think Frazier's an interesting play. I think Urshela is an interesting play. Basically, everybody's kind of an interesting play on this Yankee side, but is there anybody you'll actually pull the trigger on?
Yeah, so it's worth noting, Holden, with this slate, the 4 o'clock game we just talked about, the Nationals Phillies. That's on the DraftKings main slate. So just so people know, the game we just talked about, that is on that slate. So yeah, all the stuff we said though before pertains to what we're saying now. So let's talk about this Yankees Mets game, because this one's on that slate too. On DraftKings specifically, if you look at the third base position, I mean, you got JD Davis. His price is too cheap. Like all these guys over on DraftKings. Hang on, let me pull it up here for a second, because the Mets prices over there are just very, very odd. I mean, on FanDuel, sure, I get it. Like, I want to play on the Mets side. I think the Mets is the best side. That's where I would attack on half. But don't be afraid to play some Yankees too. I mean, these Yankees, they got some power and pop. I know Captain was arguing with Title at the start of the show, or before the show even started. They were arguing about the Yankees and what you do with them. And like the Yankees just have so much upside because of their home runs, right? So yeah, I wouldn't sleep on them too. I think that mixing and matching them throughout your lineups, it makes a ton of sense, because on a slate like this, only 4 games, right? I want the guys hitting home runs, and I want guys hitting home runs on any slate, right? I know it sounds ridiculous, but not all runs are created equal. Like when your dude gets like that RBI single or that sac fly RBI, like, man, that's not the same type of run as that home run. The amount of points that they can get you. So that's why you target the Yankees. You target them because of the upside they have. It's insane what they can do. So if for some reason they're going a little bit lower owned, man, the Bronx Bombers are somewhere where I would definitely be looking. Let's talk about this Mets side though, because on DK their prices are just absurd, right? So their total's about 5, right? It's 4.7 around. It's in a pretty nice range, and you're getting McNeil at 2.5K. JD Davis, 2.8K, who's projected to be hitting in the 2-hole. Against a lefty, like this is just such a good spot for him. Conforto's 3K, Todd Frazier, 3.7. Pete Alonso is 3K. I mean, what are these price tags, Holden? Like, I'm just absolutely confused. I mean, DK, these guys are great value plays, and they can help you just get in the big bats. So, like the Juan Soto's of the world, right? He's just an easy guy to get on DraftKings because of these prices. So, Holden, I mean, I got to be right on this. They got to be just amazing cash game plays.
Yeah, no doubt about it. How about you, Title? What are we doing here with the Mets? I kind of like that breakdown there. And then the Yankees, again, maybe just because they're the Yankees and there's 2 New York teams playing, maybe it'll just be a little bit more popular. This is throwing something against the wall and it sticks. First of all, how popular is this game going to be? We don't care in cash, Title, but how popular do you think this game is going to be? Who are some of the plays you'll target?
Yeah, so Mangone broke it down perfect. I don't really love this game, but DraftKings is forcing you to have some of these guys in your lineups just because the pricing is completely wrong. I don't love this lineup just because I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me that much. They have a lot of lefties in it against a lefty. That's probably why. JD Davis sticks out to me the most at 2.8K. I mean, kind of a free square. Just he makes your lineup work. We're going to talk about pitching later. There's a pitcher up top we're going to want on DraftKings, but there's also a pitcher below. So you might not need the salary, but JD Davis is way too cheap regardless. But that's pretty much the only interest I really have. Todd Frazier is okay. I don't even love Hap, but I just don't like playing Todd Frazier a lot. I don't think he's very good anymore. And then on the Yankees side, yeah, they have power, but it's just not – it's Captain and I were arguing about it. I just like other spots on this slate more. If I had to pick one, it'd be Aaron Hicks in the 3-hole, but there's just other spots that I'm going to target more. So I'm going to be underweight on this game. If I get exposure, it'll be on DraftKings due to pricing that I just need the money to get up to someone else.
You don't like Frazier today?
No, I don't like him that much. 3.7. I'm finding myself, as we'll talk later, I'm punting one of the positions, so I'm not needing a lot of salary relief. And if I do, I like JD Davis a lot more for over $1,000 cheaper. So I don't mind them. In your Met stacks, definitely include them, but I won't have a lot.
Yeah, I think my final decision on FanDuel for the afternoon came down to Frazier and Ian Happ. And I guess
I'd go Hap on that one. I'd go Hap on that one.
Yeah, you're down on Frazier. What do you think there, Mangone? I'll tell you who I chose.
And I'm up on the Cubs, so that's why.
Yeah. What do you think, Mangone? Hap versus Frazier.
J.A. Happ. Oh no, Ian Happ versus Frazier. I'm thinking the wrong Happ. Yeah, I mean, wow. So that's a tough one. I would lean. Oh, if it's a one-off, like, and we're talking tournaments, Travis is saying Clinton Frazier, no doubt. Cash games, it's Ian Happ, though, probably. You probably just go with him and call it a day.
Yeah, I went for Frazier in my tournament lineup. God, I like Happ, though. It's so hard fading him. And I can't stand starting Andrew McCutchen today. It's just like, man, he drives me nuts. it's either a home run or nothing. You're not getting anything out of the guy. You're just sitting there smirking, Title. You must love Andrew McCutchen today.
I mean, I'm expecting him to bat leadoff in my favorite offense of the night. I mean, even walks can get you runs. I think there's going to be a ton of runs. So I'll take anyone that's a little too cheap. I'm going to have a ton of Andrew McCutchen. So, yeah, I mean, that's me as a cash game guy, though.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about tournaments, It's like everybody's going to be there. On Frazier, he's the Yankee. He's sitting there in the middle of the lineup. That'll be interesting to watch that game. So let's get into a little bit more of the night slate. As Mangone brought up, we got a couple of those games there. The Mets and the Yankees going to be in the night slate on DraftKings. And here's the game I love. And this is really from the betting side. I got the Padres over 4.5 tonight. My God, have you guys been watching this team? They are the funnest team in baseball. And it's just like they cannot score for 7 innings. And then in the 8th, they'll just explode. They are so good. The Angels ran out a couple of stiffs last night. We're getting to the point now in the season. We're in the final 4 weeks of the season, and a lot of these teams are just gassed, man. They're playing double headers. So many games. We got some teams with off days today, but my goodness, just looking at the way the bullpens are, they are crushing. So we'll start with the pitchers. Are either one of you considering Haney with his 26% K rate? And then on the other side of things, Clevenger's making his debut, and I know he hasn't been great with the Indians this year, but for me, he's got a new lease on life. So, Mangone, what are we doing with these two pitchers this evening?
Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna do something, Holden, and Travis does whatever he wants. So he's gonna say, listen, this Andrew McCutchen crap. Like, the more I'm thinking about Andrew McCutchen on FanDuel, like, dude, so the guy is fine in cash games, but like in tournaments, like you want to get home runs, right? You want to get low-owned guys too. And on a 4-game slate, it's harder to get low-owned guys at other positions because, again, second base, like there's not as many people. Like the pool is bigger in the outfield, right? So why are you going to go to a chalky Andrew McCutchen when you can maybe find like a 2% owned play instead? So we talked about maybe like going Rizzo instead of Hoskins. I still don't mind that idea, but let's get rid of freaking Andrew McCutchen on this one. If you're doing a Philly stack, change it to Andrew McCutchen. We'll play Hoskins instead. And then we'll find some other low-owned outfielder, like a Clint Frazier. I don't even know if he'll be low, but maybe like a Tauchman's probably a better option because JT says that all he does whenever he puts that game on is he sees Tauchman hitting bombs or running around the bases. So that's just my side rant I wanted to make on
I like
that
it.
one.
I like your side rant, the Travis rant there. This is what it's all about. So let's get into the other game though with Haney and Clevenger tonight.
Yeah, so man, that's a tough one. Like, so I look at Haney and I'm like, man, the numbers look good, and he's someone I'm considering making a core play tonight. But it's like it's tough to stomach, right? Because it's the freaking Padres, man, and it's Machado and Tatis. Like, I don't know if I can actually stomach it. Like, I think I'm too worried to do it. But obviously, looking at the implied total, it's shaky too. I also don't know if I want to like go with Clevenger, right? Like the one thing I look at with Clevenger is like, I don't know, he hasn't been great this year. I mean, he's had some decent starts. So why was he traded too? Like it felt strange that he got traded out of nowhere. Holden, maybe did he get some prospect? I know he was dealing with some injuries before. Like, is he not right? That's something
this is my guess. And I actually talked to one of the guys in their radio team. They didn't say I was wrong, but I think the whole COVID mess that they had, and it's odd that they kept Plesac too, especially after Plesac kind of went off, but it might have just been the final straw with Clevenger that there were some other things going on. But again, the Indians, they still got a great rotation, but what a live arm this guy has. Hey, maybe the Tribe just needed a bat more than a number 2 starting pitcher, but he's their ace now out in San Diego.
Yeah, I didn't know why, and I know he was dealing with an injury before, so I'm just like, do they know something that maybe other teams don't? Maybe they're just trying to sell him high while they can, but I didn't know if you had gotten any info on that. But yeah, so people are talking in the chat and they're saying, oh no, like they like the Padres. How could I like Heaney? And it's like, listen, like I always like Heaney. It's like if it's every 5 days I like Andrew Heaney basically. I mean, I pretty much have always written him up as a core play for the most part. So maybe it's just like I don't know if it's my bias, but I look at his K prop, right? And it's 6.5, and it's kind of similar to Lance Lynn, right? So Lance Lynn, the reason to like him a little bit on the early slate is one, it's a small slate. And listen, a 6-game slate is small also over here on a site like DraftKings. I mean, that's still a small slate. There's not as many pitching options. Another reason to like Heaney is the K floor, right? Because his prop is 6.5. I mean, if I go through the board here with you and list off the guys I got Taijuan Walker at 3.5. I got Martin Perez at 3.5. I got Dylan Cease 4.5. Danny Duffy 5.5, and Clayton Kershaw is 5.5. They're juiced on different sides, and I know that Haney's is juiced on the under, but his projection for strikeouts is higher than everyone else, so he naturally has a really nice floor. And let's say he's on tonight. The upside then is massive. So in tournaments, I love Heaney. In cash games, I still think he's in play because of his floor and what he can provide for you.
All right, what are you doing there with pitching? And then once you get into offense, just here for a second, Title.
Let me just do pitching quick because that'll kind of lead to offense. The Clevenger stuff, I heard stuff. I don't know how true it is, but there just wasn't really great blood between the organization and Clevenger. I heard they didn't really like each other. I heard he was on the block for a little while, actually, that they were trying to get rid of him. So who knows how true that is, but Clevenger, I don't really like as much today just because the Angels don't strike out that much. I don't see his upside compared to other guys that I like. We'll get to Kershaw later and stuff. He's a fine tournament play. I just don't love picking on the Angels. And then Heaney, I can't do it in cash. The Padres are so good, so fun to watch. Tatis is an absolute animal. So, I get it. He does have a good strikeout floor, but there's two pitchers that really do stand out to me. So I'm not going to be touching either of these pitchers. Tournaments are fine, but not going to be touching it. In tournaments, I like San Diego a little bit. Not my number one stack, not single entry, but if you're making one lineup in the $15, something like that, give me some Tatis, Machado. Give me the big guys. Absolutely, I'm just buying in on the talents. Heaney's not a bad pitcher, no, but sometimes hitters outdo pitchers. So give me some of the Padres in big field tournaments, but this is another game I'm going to be underweight on.
Yeah, I'd also add Profar had a big big homer last night. I'd throw Nola in there, and I'd throw Hosmer in there. I actually like their 2 through 6. My God, Trent Grisham looked about as bad. He looked completely lost last night. Real quick from you, Mangone, the bats. I don't think I got to your thoughts on the bats in this game.
Yeah, it's funny, Holden, you mentioned Trent Grisham. I don't know if you saw my core plays yesterday. I give a conviction play, and the day before it went well, and so I went back with a conviction play, and it was Trent Grisham hits a home run, but the other conviction play was Padres score 10 runs or more. So to see them put up 11 runs, never a doubt they ended up pulling it out was great. But Trent Grisham not really being too much a part of it was very frustrating. He did look terrible.
That was a sweat last night, man, because they took their good old time, and finally the Angels with a good bullpen, but now they're just rolling out the 35th and 36th guy on their 40-man roster.
Oh, yeah. So, the Padres, I get it. Like, their offense is definitely in play. They can beat up a bad bullpen, too. Like, Heaney could get it done, and then, the Padres could beat him up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if, this is a classic thing you could do, like JT talks about. You play Andrew Heaney, and you play Tatis, right? Let's say you're playing a lot of bets and you're grabbing that value. Play Tatis with him, because Tatis could easily have a home run against Heaney and a home run against the bullpen. That's just a great way to just be absolutely different on a 6-game slate if you're looking for those ways to do it. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. Again, pitching is tough. It's not like we have all these elite arms on the slate where you're saying, if you give up one home run, you're probably in trouble because there's all these guys that can get you 30 fantasy points at pitcher. Nah, not so fast. That ain't happening today. So, I think that some of these Padres are in play. And I don't know. I don't love the Angels bats. I don't really know what to do with them here. I'll admit that one. I'm kind of just torn. I think you just stay away.
Okay, very good. We got Toronto and Boston here. And this is an interesting one from the Toronto side, guys. So let's start with the pitching here. I'll go to you first, Title. The Blue Jays went out and got themselves Taijuan Walker, and the Boston offense actually showed up last night. The problem is, it's really tough to trust anybody outside of that top 3, maybe JD Martinez too. And then on the other side, this is where I'm torn tonight, and I'm going to have to really dig into it. I was just from the eye test, it didn't seem like Martin Perez was getting rocked or anything. Hard hit, 37%, and then righties are really hitting him hard. I have a hard time thinking about the lefties tonight for the Blue Jays, but I want to get your thoughts on Perez. I want to get your thoughts on the other side with Walker, and then just run down those two offenses, especially Toronto, which to me is interesting.
Yeah, so we'll start at Taijuan Walker, and he is my SP2 today. 4.8K on DraftKings. That is that's just a misprice. Way wrong, forcing me to play him. I like Philly. I like other expensive bats. And I don't think this Boston offense is really that great. You gotta navigate a couple bats, but bottom of the order doesn't scare me a lot. 4.8K. I'm not asking for a lot. So you definitely Boston run them back in different lineups in a tournament lineup for a hedge. It's not like, oh, Taijuan Walker is going to throw a complete game shutout. No, I'm not saying that. But 4.8K, I think he exceeds value and gets me what I want. So I like Taijuan Walker a lot. A couple bats on Boston, sure, but I'm not going there. And then you mentioned Toronto. I love picking on Martin Perez.
Yeah,
I don't think he's very good. So give me all the Blue Jays. Grusek, Vlad Guerrero, Hernandez, Gurriel. Those are my favorite four. I'm not going to target the lefties as you mentioned, Biggio up top, but those four, hopefully in the middle of the order, 2 through 5, and if so, that's a full stack for me.
So is he just getting lucky then? Perez just getting lucky, man?
Yeah.
Last start he got rocked by Washington, but he looked good against Baltimore. You know what? You're right. I mean, Perez, I probably watched too many of his starts and probably just watched the innings where he was good.
And it's also it's in Fenway, right? Yeah, it's in Fenway. It's a bad bullpen. I think they get to Perez kind of early. I mean, just say somehow Perez lets up 2 runs in 5 innings. All right, now you got 4 innings of a bad Boston bullpen that you can easily get 6-7 runs on, and I don't even think Perez is going to do that. So, I Blue Jays are one of my favorite stacks on the night.
How about let's go to you here. Do you prefer a pitcher in this game? Would you go to Walker? And what do you think about both offenses, Mangone?
Yeah, I don't hate Taijuan Walker. Like, have you seen his DK price, Holden? I mean, the FanDuel price is in like the 8K. I gotta interrupt. Philly's lineup came out. McCutchen is not in it.
Yes.
See, look at this. Travis is ahead of everything. He told you not to play McCutchen. We gotta update. We gotta update some of the core plays though. I think for the people. So, Titletown, can you like go in Discord and just add everyone and tell them, hey, like McCutchen's out of the lineup? That'd be good to do for the Discord chat. Yeah, add everyone. Tell McCutchen's out.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes till lock, but it's late swap on FanDuel, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's good to mention though. So just in case someone wants to make a switch, you never know. But so no more Andrew McCutchen. We'll get him out of there. I took him out of my.
They got Quinn batting leadoff 2.4K on FanDuel. Just so everyone.
Right, cool.
He's a really good play.
Can you list the whole lineup? What's the whole lineup?
Yeah, so we got Quinn, Hoskins, Harper, Real Muto, Didi, Segura, Bruce, Bohm, Nat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just curious. That the Quinn upgrade is the big one. Awesome. All right. What's his price on FanDuel?
2.4K.
All right. Awesome. I'm gonna put him in there as a guy to have. So cool. All right. I'll adjust stuff later too, but that's good for the people. And Travis was right. He was already ahead of the curve on crappy Andrew McCutchen, right, Holden?
That's brutal.
He's gonna be like 40% owned. He's probably.
You just gotta take those victory laps when you can. You know what I mean, Holden? I still haven't taken the Bucks victory lap on title. I know it's early, but we'll talk about that when we get to the NBA.
It's not there yet.
Yeah.
How are we in this show now? What game?
You had us at
Taijuan Walker. Who was?
You had us at Taijuan Walker.
All right, good.
We got derailed. Taijuan Walker derailed the whole MLB slate and then got traded. So that just happened there. He derailed us once again. So Mr. Taijuan Walker, let's talk about him. The price is too cheap on DK. The other problem is like I don't know if I need that cheap price tag. The reason why is like we have these Mets lurking. I'm curious to see what Walker's ownership will be. I also I'm in the camp of like Taijuan Walker isn't as bad as people think. The one problem that Taijuan Walker has is yes, he has a hard hit problem. But he also, when he's on, right? The strikeouts are there. So he's very Robbie Ray-esque if you don't, if you had to pick a comparison. Robbie Ray is like a perfect guy that he's very similar to. Gets hit hard, but also has a ton of strikeout upside. He's going up against a Red Sox team that, man, like they're kind of brutal, but they do have some good guys in the lineup, right? They got Devers, they got Bogarts, they got JD Martinez. If you tell me the Red Sox are going to be like sub 5% owned, in this Red Sox park, like I don't hate playing a little bit of a Red Sox stack. I don't know what their ownership is going to be. But if you tell me they're low owned, I have some interest in some Red Sox. On the opposite side, like I said, I like Walker. He's perfectly fine. Perez, I don't like. He's a terrible option. And I want to play some of these Blue Jays against the Red Sox because Martin Perez, He's been a lot better this year compared to some other years, but he's a guy that can get rocked. He's a guy that can get hit hard. And if you look at the Blue Jays, I like playing the Blue Jays when they get lefties. That's the reason I like to go after them. And I like to play Grichuk. I like to play Vlad Guerrero, Teoscar Hernandez, Gurriel, all these guys. They're in that lefty masher club together. And hey, don't be afraid to play Kevin Biggio too. I mean, Kevin Biggio, he's a great hitter no matter what. And again, Titletown talked about it. This Red Sox bullpen's not very good. Biggio will get time against them. So yeah, all in all, I think I like this Blue Jay stack a ton. I think it's one of the better stacks on the slate.
Yeah, and I wrote down Teoscar, Grichuk, and Gurriel. Those are my three guys tonight from the Blue Jays. But if you want to stack, you go to Biggio and you find another bat. Where are we looking at this game in cash, Mr. Titletown?
Real quick, that's the captain put big news in the chat too. Like Howie Kendrick being out for Washington's kind of big on FanDuel because second base is not like the best position. So I'm sure that there's some people that have exposure to Howie Kendrick. So worth noting that he's not in the lineup. I don't know if we have a full lineup. Do you see it, Titletown, on that Washington game?
I'll pull it up really quick. I mean, this is just such a mess right before. It just stinks because the Cubs, I wanted them, and then it already locks, so it was just a mess. But it goes Eaton, Turner, Soto, Cabrera, Suzuki, Holt, Thames, Garcia, Robles. I mean, that lineup isn't very, very scary. Why Thames is in the 7 hole is beyond me, but hey, managers will do what managers do.
Yeah, they're
day game, and Thames is a home run guy against. Isn't it a bad? I mean, it's a bad pitcher against lefties. If you had to find a spot for Thames to play, you're saying he needs to be higher up. You're saying
no, yeah, he needs to be. I mean, a guy that struggles against lefties, a power lefty. I think why Suzuki's in the 5 hole instead of him just doesn't make sense. Brock Holt is that Brock Holt in the 6 hole? I mean, these managers, these coaches, everyone is tilting me lately. This is crazy. We gotta move on. This is.
I haven't called you TT Boy today. I didn't want to tilt you, but somebody in the chat on the YouTube had a good one because we got Travis, TT Boy, and the Tiger King. I didn't know I was the Tiger King, but now I realize exactly what it was. So we got a whole bunch of teas going on the show today. I'm looking forward to it. Anything else baseball wise? I feel like we got through everything, right?
No, we got more.
We got another.
We got another game. Did I miss?
We got
two more games.
Oh my God. Yeah. White Sox Royals. Duh. I mean, I was so excited about the Toronto offense. So this is actually a good one for the White Sox, right? They're going up against Duffy, who is not an easy pitcher, but he gives up some hard contact. He gives up 43% fly balls, and he's got some issues against right-handers. I don't know how popular Duffy's going to be in this matchup tonight. Then on the other side, Dylan Cease, who, his old school numbers, amazing. Like if this was 1996, he would be one of the best pitchers in baseball, but everything else around this says that he's getting lucky right now. The good news for him is that he's going up against a Royals team that really isn't too sexy. Title, let's start with you. Cash plays in this game, either pitchers too.
I'm not going to go there in pitcher because I'm pretty locked in on Walker and then Kershaw in the next game. I'll give you a heads up there, but so I'm not really interested there, but I mean, I always like this White Sox offense. Danny Duffy does not scare me. Give me the righties. Tim Anderson, Jimenez, Abreu, Grandal, Edwin Encarnacion. I mean, you can go top to bottom on this offense. In cash, their prices are up, so I'm not sure how much White Sox will have in cash, but it's a full stack in tournaments for sure. Because I'm playing Walker at SP2, it allows me to pretty much full stack anyone I want, and White Sox are not an offense that I'm going to be crossing off. And then if you go to the other side on the Royals, I don't mind it. I think Cease is pretty good. Soler got hurt yesterday, actually. I forgot about that. I don't think he's going to make the lineup. That makes the lineup way worse. So never mind. Not too much interest in the Royals. Soler's the heart of that order. So, that gives me a little interest in Cease in tournaments, actually. So, but he's not a cash game play. And, so I'll be avoiding the Royals side, and I'll have some White Sox in tournaments, but not too much in cash.
All right, Mangone. White Sox bats. Start with them.
Yeah, first of all, Holden, Travis is pissed that you addressed me as Mangone right now. It's the White Sox against Danny Duffy. Like we're stacking him up, man.
He is so sensitive these days. My God, Travis. All right, Travis.
Listen, I mean, I've been playing the White Sox for a while. It's been fun times. I'm going to keep playing them. And And I played him against Danny Duffy the last time, and it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I think we got a couple bombs. I tried to pull it up real quick. I'm trying to pull up the game logs to see, because I think I got a late home run too that ended up making it work out. He ended up losing. It was 6 runs they ended up getting, and there was enough home runs where it worked out. But I want to attack Danny Duffy here again. It's the second time seeing the pitcher, right? That's always something we like to see. That's encouraging. It's against one of the best teams against lefties in the entire league, Holden. How do we ignore these guys? We got Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, who's been smashing lefties this year. If you look at the exit velocity of 95 miles an hour on batted balls, he's at a 58% rate this year against lefties. So he's crushing the ball. Luis Robert, he's been incredible up and down this lineup. Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal, even Mr. Adam Engel. I pulled this up just to tilt Titletown. A little BVP action for you. I'm Adam Engel. If you want to get a little different with your stack, 7 for 17 with 3 triples. So a way to be unique at the bottom of the lineup. Adam Engel could be a way to go with it, and he saves you some salary.
Ooh, Adam Engel. Okay.
I don't mind the call, but I don't necessarily love the VVP reason. But hey, I like the bottom of the White Sox order too. If it comes down, some people do believe in BVP, and I don't mind it. So I like the bottom of that order too, and that's going to be your home run call. I already know it.
Do you have a BV time of day like Colin Moran today? If he hits during the day, is that a thing, or do you not buy into that?
I don't really buy into any of that stuff too much. The one thing I kind of buy into is Anthony Rizzo today in PNC Park. He owns them. I don't know why I believe in that so much, or maybe just
because you're a hypocrite title. It's because you're a hypocrite.
How could you believe in that one and not that? Like, it's literally a worse ballpark for him. It's like one of the worst ballparks in the league. Like, it's not like I go out of my way to play. Like today, I didn't play Anthony Rizzo in cash, but it always seems anytime, like I don't make my play, like I'm going to play Anthony Rizzo just because he's in PNC Park. But every time he's in PNC Park, I swear I look and he's doing something. So, I don't believe it that much. It doesn't make a difference in my lineups. I'm not going to play him and not this other guy because he's in PNC Park. But that might be a narrative of all narratives that I might believe in a little bit. He's talked about it on a show with, wasn't it Tommy G a couple of years ago? Didn't he have Anthony Rizzo on the show and he mentioned something about that? I could be going crazy, but I think that's why I started believing it too, because he did interview or did something with Anthony Rizzo, and I thought he did confirm or something. I could be totally wrong, and that might just be in my head, but that's probably why too. I'm not sure.
That guy's like been banned from America, man.
Hey, no, he used to be in the MLB industry, so I think he had a podcast with them. We'll leave him at that. That's all, but that's why I brought it up.
Poor Tommy G. Actually, not poor Tommy G. The guy loves hookers and coke and money. So, I would love to live the life of Tommy G for a week. I actually like him personally. But anyways, thanks a lot for bringing him up, jerk. Anything else on that game, or can we move on? And we are getting questions in the chat. Hey, are you going to talk NBA? Yeah, right after this final game, we're getting right into the NBA. So let's hammer through this final game. It's the Dodgers hosting Arizona. So Luke Weaver likes to strike guys out. Problem is, it's going up against the Dodgers team that I'm just looking, and God, they could have 6-7 guys in the lineup tonight that just pummel right-handed pitching. You know what? I just want to focus on the Dodgers real quick, man. Travis, excuse me. I want to focus on the Dodgers real quick from that side. Like, how do you handle Weaver? And the Dodgers can be the chalk, right?
So the problem is on the DK slate, I feel like those Phillies are becoming more of the chalk. It depends, right? Like if you're playing the FanDuel slate, yeah, like they're maybe more of the chalk. So it just depends what slate you're playing. That's like the big thing. But yeah, I think on this game, it's really simple. I'm playing Clayton Kershaw. I think he's like, one of the best pitchers on this slate. Like him, and then I think the Dodgers are good bets to get exposure to. You want to make sure you're getting exposure to him. Wait and see what the lineup is and call it a day. And then also one more pitcher to mention was Dylan Cease. We didn't talk about him a ton, but I think he's in play as an interesting option depending on what his ownership is. But yeah, that's it for me on baseball. You can go to Titletown to finish it off.
Nothing on the Arizona side. Okay, Title, give it to me.
Kershaw is my favorite pitcher on the slate. We'll have a ton of them, so no Diamondbacks for me. And then, yeah, how do you not like? Dodgers fall in the same categories as the White Sox, the Padres, but even a better offense top to bottom. So how do you not have interest in the Dodgers? I'm not going to be jamming them in cash. If I land on Mookie Betts or whatever. I mean, he probably won't because he's expensive, but obviously I'm not going to be mad about that. So I like the top of the order for sure. Even the bottom of the order. They're going to be a tournament stack only, but I like them as a late night hammer. There's no clear spots. Phillies are my favorite. After that, there's no clear spot. So I think it's a good day to make a couple lineups, stack the White Sox, stack the Dodgers, stack the Blue Jays, like mix them around. Because I like a cheap SP2, I'll be able to full stack these teams. It's a good 6-game slate. I'm excited, but definitely have some Dodgers.
All right, so guys, not too many games. We got 6 games if you go on that DK slate. Travis, who's the number 1 and 2 stacks tonight? And if you want to throw another one in, by all means.
Yeah, White Sox stack, definitely my 1, I'd say. I'd go with Phillies 2, and then I'm going Blue Jays 3. Those are probably my 3 favorite ones.
Okay, what about you, Titel?
Yeah, I got Phillies up top for sure. Then I'm going to go with the Blue Jays as number 2 and White Sox number 3.
We got a Yankees lineup real quick. It's DJ LeMahieu, Voit, Hicks, Frazier, Ford, Urshela, Gardner. The catcher, I can't say his name. Higgish, I don't know. You know his name, and then Wade.
Yeah, usually I will.
Higashoka? I have no clue.
I can't say his name.
I don't know.
Okay, so what I'm doing now for our shows is that I'm not going to correct you in the middle of the show. I'm writing down exact. I already got one on you, Title, and now
I believe it. I'm surprised it's only one.
It's only one,
actually,
dude.
I know a decent amount of names, but there's always names that pop up that I'm like, where did this guy come from? So
it's okay. All good, buddy. We're all good here. NBA time, right? We ready to go to the NBA? Let's do it. We got a couple games tonight. Mangone's been, slobbering. I don't know if you really want to talk NBA, do you, Title? I mean, you should be in a lot of pain from last night.
I literally was more tilted, if you can believe it, of the OKC ending than the Bucks game. And if you can believe it, and I played DFS, but I didn't even want that OKC game to go into overtime for my lineups. It was literally just that, and I wanted the Bucks game to go into OT, and I would have won all the money. So it literally was just the basketball 101 tilting. But I'm ready to jump into a new slate for NBA. We haven't seen these 2-game slates yet because we got the Lakers now on this, or not the Clippers on the slate. So we haven't seen the Clippers Nuggets yet. It's been the Jazz. So it's going to be a nice little mix up that we haven't seen yet. I'm excited.
You know what? I want to start with the Denver Clippers game. I know it's the later game, but Mangone, I mean, here's what happened. And Mangone, what's your Twitter handle?
At Travis Mangone.
Okay, very good. So you need to take Mangone out of that if you want to be the real Travis. So anyways, I'm watching the Scott Van Pelt talking with Jamal Murray too. And he says, hey, you're playing in 2 days. He's like, oh, brutal. He's like, you can't believe that he's not getting any rest, right? That's it. The series ends, you get a day, then you go on to the next one. And 2 seconds later, Mangone comes out. Travis comes out. All the units, $5 million on the Clippers, -6, and now it's like -800 or whatever. But let's get to the actual game. How much do you think this lack of rest is going to screw the Denver Nuggets over? No Will Barton tonight. And then Travis with the Clippers, maybe Patrick Beverly plays, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, the last time I gave out the 500,000 unit whale play, obviously joking, but it was when Max gave out a hockey play, one of our Run Pure Bets guys. And listen, if you haven't gotten over Run Pure Bets, Max is awesome at college stuff, but Max sucks at hockey handicapping. We are all fading him. We are fading everything Max is doing, and we are winning money from it. And that's just one of the fun things we're doing over there in the Discord chat. So listen, I'm on the Clippers. I got it at -6. That line's probably gone, but if you can somehow get -6, I would be jumping on them. I'm giving out my pick now, but hey, if it helps you win and you bet the Clippers tonight, then head on over and buy a Run Pure Bet subscription, because I think the Clippers win by a lot. I think they absolutely crush them. Just Nuggets are going to be tired, man. I mean, that was a dogfight to get back in that. One reason I didn't believe in the Blazers to beat the Lakers, they were in a dogfight just to get there to the Lakers. That was the other problem I had with the Blazers side. But I think the Nuggets, they're going to struggle tonight. Clippers, obviously, the Mavericks they put a little pressure on them, right, Holden? They kind of made it a little difficult on them than they expected. I'm sure the Clippers come out firing. And I'm going to want to be on the Clippers side of the ball from a DFS perspective more than the Nuggets. We got Pat Beverly, who's going to be back. 3.5K, just a really cheap price tag on him. I think he's going to be a really nice value that you go to. I need to see what his minutes are going to be, but he's in play. I like Zubac a bit. I think Zubac is definitely a decent value as well. Also, Marcus Morris, another guy, more on FanDuel because you have to play 2 power forwards, but he's been great in these series. I don't care what projections say. They've been wrong on Marcus Morris, and I think they're going to continue to be wrong. He's been outproducing a ton. Sure, he had that situation where he got ejected, and maybe people don't want to roster him because of that, because they think he's an absolute dirtbag. Well, like, breaking news, he's always been that way. There's nothing different with Marcus Morris. He's always been there. So, yeah. On top of that, Kawhi Leonard, he's one of the better spend-ups on this slate. So the question is, can you spend on him? Is he going to be the guy you want to spend on this slate? That's the real debate. Or do you want to spend on the other side? Do you want to spend on a Jamal Murray? Do you want to spend on a Jokic? If you force me to pick, I'm going to spend on Jokic instead of Murray. And then if I'm looking at the value plays on Denver, I'm struggling a bit. I don't mind Torrey Craig because I think he could get some run. People like to crap on Torrey Craig, but I see him getting run. If Gary Harris is going to get more run or get a usage or a minutes bump, then that's going to hurt into Torrey Craig, and I won't want him as much. And then the real debate on this entire game, saving the best for last, is what do you do with Paul Millsap? He's freaking 4.3K. I mean, if he's going to play 30 to 35 minutes at 4.3K with the usage he soaks up and he steals, how do you not play Paul Millsap? So that's the real thing I have to figure out is what I'm doing with him.
Anything else you want to talk about from this game before I get to title? Is that your whole rundown?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, I don't really got too much else to say. I'm curious what Title's thinking about Millsap, though, because, like, he is really the big talking point. Like, because, again, if he plays 30 to 35 minutes at 4.3K, like, you want him. Like, you need to be playing him. It's a new series, right? We saw that Malone, that they taking Millsap out of the lineup, it worked, right? Like, it was working against the Jazz, and they went on a nice run, and now you saw Millsap's price go down. Like, he's really in play. People might be biased to him and be like, I can't play him after what happened, but series change. Things are different, and it could be Paul Millsap's season.
Title, he asked you about Millsap. Let's hear it.
Yeah, first, Mangone, did you see Beverly's for sure in, and you just not sure his minutes? Did I miss that news?
Yeah, no, Beverly's in. I don't know what his minutes are going to be, though.
Oh, he's for sure in? Okay, I didn't see
so.
that.
Maybe that was from yesterday.
I saw questionable still.
I saw questionable too. But if he is in anyway, 3.5K, yeah, that's definitely going to be tough to avoid. But going to Millsap, I mean, especially if Beverly's in, I like a lot of other values more. Here.
By the way, you're right, because Doc Rivers 27 minutes ago says he expects Beverly to play despite the questionable tag.
Well, perfect. Then Millsap, absolutely not. And that's just because I like 3.5K. I'll rather go Beverly, and I'd rather go balanced build than go stars and scrub and have to play Paul Millsap. I get it. Yeah, maybe he does get run out for 30 minutes in a new series. I just don't see that happening because he is just not good. He's going to be a liability on defense. He's not going to be able to stay in front of everyone. Michael Porter is a million times better than this guy, and I'm just one of these days I'm hoping Malone just runs him out for 35.
Hold on, Title. Hold on. Why are you? This is the thing that bothers me. Everyone did this with Amari Cooper. I always use him as an example. Amari Cooper was supposed to always get the red zone looks and do everything in Oakland, and he didn't. We're not the coach. You are not the coach of the Nuggets. I'm not the coach. Hoop's not. Big T. Like, Mike Malone is going to do what he wants. Like, why is Michael Porter Jr. going to play 35 minutes?
I'm saying that's his. I think that is an upside. I think 35 minutes is in the realm of possibilities. I don't think it's the most likely outcome, but I'll even take a 26 minutes of Michael Porter who is more expensive than 32 minutes of Paul Millsap, just because of the upside.
There's a big difference in price. Like Millsap's 4.3, but yeah.
Yeah, on DraftKings, and then that's where you also go, and Patrick Beverly's 3.5K. I'll take that price discount so I don't have to play Paul Millsap. Yeah, I mean, the price discount Porter to Millsap right there is, it's not comparable there, but you can compare him to other value plays. Zubac in this game, he's one of the best value plays on the slate. I love Zubac. I think the Clippers, I agree with you. I think they absolutely smash him too, and I'm going to want to load up on a lot more of the Clippers guys than the Nuggets. So that's the reason Millsap's I'm not targeting him. I get it. 4.3K, very cheap. You hope he falls into a couple of rebounds, maybe a steal gets thrown to him once in a while, but I just can't do it. So I'm not going to go there, but I get it. Other piece in this.
Real quick, Chat's beating me up. Sorry to cut you off. They're beating me up. He said Millsap is the Mangone, but Dozier is the Big T. Guys, I don't like Paul Millsap as a player, but Mike Malone likes him. So this is the thing. I'm going to be searching for coach quotes. If I see anything that's really important, I'll post it in the NBA Discord. But guys, if he's going to get minutes, like he literally talked about, even after everything that went down in Game 7, Mike Malone literally said that he was going to give Paul Millsap run, and if Millsap got going, he was going to stick with him. You know how stupid that is? I'm telling you what he said. It's hard to trust him. I get that, but the guy plays Paul Millsap all the time. I don't know why he does it. So, but continue, Titletown. Sorry. Chat's got me tilted right now.
No, yeah, no. I know you're not. Yeah, we're not playing Paul Millsap, or if Mangone plays him, he's not playing him because he's like, oh, Paul Millsap's a smash play. No, but for me, why I'm not, because another game, Robert Williams, 3.6K. That's some very tasty value too. I'll play a million times over Paul Millsap. So there's enough value in other spots that's the reason I'm not going to go there. But continuing on with this game, I'm underweight on the Nuggets for sure. If I do have somebody, I mean, I'm fine with Jeremy Grant and them, but I'm definitely Jokic over Jamal Murray. I think the Clippers have watched that series, have a game plan, and I don't think they're going to allow Jamal Murray to beat them. Jamal Murray also, he's due for regression, as we saw last game in his shooting. He can't keep shooting 60%. So I'm going to be off the Nuggets for the most part. A couple pieces if they fit. Onto the Clippers side, I think they smashed him. Starting with Zubac, he's probably my favorite play just because of his price. Then Paul George and Kawhi. Paul George makes more sense on FanDuel because of position eligibility. I like him a lot as shooting guard. You can always play Kawhi. He has massive upside. I'll be looking at those two for sure. I have a little more interest in the other game, I think. But, I mean, you can also play Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, all these guys. Montrezl Harrell is All right, here we go, Mangone. Montrezl Harrell, 4.4K, or Paul Millsap, 4.3K?
It's a good question. I'll say that. I do think it's like a decent Zubac series. I definitely need to dig a little bit more on that. But I think, man, the one thing I'll say is Jokic, dude. He's just so terrible defensively. But the one problem I will say with Harrell is, what are Harrell's minutes going to be against? They're going to be against Plumlee. And listen, I'm not saying Plumlee's this defensive, presence that's incredible. He's decent on defense with the energy, right? He has the energy to match Harrell, right? That's what Harrell does. The reason Harrell crushes is because Harrell out-energizes people, right? He out-hustles you on the boards. He's going up against a hustler too, so it does neutralize what Harrell does and where he has his edge. Not saying I don't like the price tag on Harrell, but it is something worth noting.
Yeah, I don't think he's a smash spot, but going back to it, I'm going to play Harrell over Dusty Paul Millsap any day for pretty much the same price. That's just what I'm doing. So I like that spot a little bit.
The other fun thing we can say, Titles, you can play all three, right? You can play Beverly, Millsap, and Harrell, and then just play all the guys at the top. So
but now we're forgetting about Robert Williams, who's one of the best values on the slate.
I love Robert Williams. Man, don't get me too excited. That's my favorite.
Yeah, this 2-game slate has value, and that's why it's a really good slate, because some people are going to go stars and scrubs and jam them all in and hope the Paul Millsaps, Harrells of the world go off. Some people are going to want to avoid those and want to just go more balanced build and Paul George and all that stuff. So it's a very good slate. I haven't completely decided what route I'm taking, but I'm not playing Paul Millsap. I'll tell you that. But that's pretty much it for this game. Heavier on the Clippers side, riding Zubac, Beverly, Harrell, the value plays, and then also Kawhi and Paul George as well. Give me all the Clippers today. And if you're playing anyone on the Nuggets, Jokic, you can make a case for, but Grant, Porter, that's about it, though. I'm going to leave it there.
I mean, can't the Nuggets just down 6 energy drinks and just go out and have enough energy to do this tonight? Maybe we're overdoing it just because these guys don't have legs, you can. But that's not the only reason I'm not targeting two. I think the Clippers just really I think the Clippers with all the rest have been looking forward to this, and I just think it's going to be a beatdown. And that also makes Harrell more intriguing to me too. A blowout risk. Look at some guys that will play in blowouts. We saw Montrezl Harrell play when they were up 30, went in the first round, but he was getting his legs back under him. You don't know what Doc Rivers is going to do. So that's another point I wanted to make. All right, guys. I love it when you disagree. That was a lot of fun. And I actually learned a lot. And now I still don't have to
Hold on. One last thing on the tired legs thing you said. There's one guy that didn't play as much in that series that doesn't have his tired legs. His name's Paul Millsap. So we'll see. I just wanted to needle that in one last time.
30, what is he, 37?
He's out there. He's out there for 5 minutes on warm-ups and his legs get tired. I'm not worried about that.
All right. Very good. Let's move on to this other game. We got game 1, Toronto and Boston. So Boston's up 2-0. Gordon Hayward not playing for Boston. We know that. Is it a little more challenging to figure out what's going on with Boston, Travis, than it is on the other side with Toronto? Like, what's your take on the Boston side?
So I'm a Celtics fan. I'm someone that can have some bias towards them. But I think they're going to win this series. I don't think they win tonight though, right? I thought this would be like a series where it goes really back and forth a ton. But the Raptors, they kind of proved a lot of my points. My points were like Tatum and Kemba, they can score on their own. I think they have the best player on the floor too. I thought it would be a close series. And I didn't really have any faith in Siakam being the number one and this offense. And this offense has struggled for the Raptors a ton. They are like that, perfect, team that grinds it out. They're that team that, listen, they're not going to go down and get swept 4-0. The Raptors won't. They grind too hard. There's no way. I think they're going to win one of these games coming up. I'm hoping it's this one. I got some change on that one too. So I like the Raptors here tonight. And if I like the Raptors side, you know what that means? I'm probably going to be playing some of these guys. And the reason why I want to play them is, if you look, Fred VanVleet, Lowry, what do they get? They get 40 minutes a night. They're always loaded up on minutes. Like those guys a ton. On the opposite side, one reason I like Tatum last game is I thought the Raptors would probably win last game, and I was wrong about that, but it was competitive. And when the game is going to be competitive and it's going to be a back and forth, I expect Tatum to thrive, right? That's when I'm expecting either him or Kemba to have a takeover game. One or the other, I think, will end up going out there and doing something big. The reason why Tatum, I don't think, did much in game 1 is because he didn't have to, right? He just sat back and he let the other guys do well and everything was going smooth. Kemba was doing his thing and they were leading the whole game. Tatum didn't have to take over and be the guy. But I do think Tatum might have to have some chances to do that. So on the Boston side of the ball, I like having one of either Tatum or Kemba if you're playing a tournament build. If you want to pick one of them, I'd only take one. That's how I would kind of approach it. But I want to load up more on the Raptor side with those guards, like the Fred VanVleets, the Lowrys. I think those are two of my favorites. OG Anunoby is a great safe option. If you're talking about, there's a lot of value on this slate, but if you're doing that mid-tier build, OG is a perfect guy for that mid-tier build that I think you want to be going to. And then Robert Williams, Titletown mentioned it before. Listen, Robert Williams, it's really simple with him. It's like, if he's going to get minutes, then he's going to produce, a fantasy point per minute or more. He's just a really great fantasy producer. And his minutes, right, they've been there. There's upside for more. And I don't see there being too much downside on minutes for him. The only way is if Enes Kanter randomly comes in there, but Enes Kanter isn't going to randomly jump into the game. It's just not going to happen unless Daniel Tice gets into some foul trouble. I think he'll eat from him and not Williams. And I think there's opportunity for Williams to pick up those Kanter minutes anyways, because Kanter will get killed in the pick and roll. So ultimately, I think Robert Williams, he's a great value play and someone you definitely want to get exposure to. And I like more of those Raptor studs.
What's your take on Boston first there, Title?
Yeah, so for Boston, we'll start right with Robert Williams. He's just too cheap on both sites. It's a bigger question on FanDuel because it takes up your center eligibility and you only can play one. That's going to be a big question on this slate. Whatever in cash, just say it looks like Robert Williams is going to be the chalk. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. Then I like Jokic and making your builds way different. If Jokic looks like he's going to be the chalk, then I like Robert Williams because it makes your builds way different. So we'll be in Discord. Not sure what people are doing yet and stuff, but we'll be in Discord and letting you know. I just think that's a very interesting conversation. I like Robert Williams a lot. And then going on to some of the other Boston guys, I love Tatum. I don't know how you can't. Jaylen Brown's been playing great. Marcus Smart. Those are the three that I'm really looking at, but you can always play Kemba, Daniel Tice. I do agree with Mangone. I'm on the Raptors a little more in this game. 3-0, I just don't see – I didn't see that coming in the beginning. However, Brad Stevens is a huge upgrade from Nick Nurse. It's night and day. Brad Stevens night and day pretty much with anyone in the NBA. So that worries me a little bit just because I think coaching is a huge thing in the playoffs. And that's a reason that Boston – the only way they go up 3-0 is if Nick Nurse plays Marc Gasol. He's running out Marc Gasol 25 minutes, and then the Celtics, they're going to run away with this series. But give me Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Those are my favorites right there. Going to the other side, this is the balanced build. If you want to go balanced build on DraftKings, it is definitely with Toronto. Their price tags are affordable. Kyle Lowry, Siakam, VanVleet. you can play all three. They do you'll get a lot of assists when you get the points. They correlate. I don't mind that at all. 2 of the 3, that's fine. Van Vliet is my favorite. He's my favorite player. I think he's the best player on the Raptors. Probably a very hot take, but I'm not a big Siakam guy. Lowry's been playing well, just never been a huge Lowry guy, but I do like him for DFS. He does everything. So Van Vliet and Lowry are my favorites. If you want to get some Siakam, I don't mind that. OG's been playing pretty well, has a good price tag on both sides, so I'll look there. Serge Ibaka is really priced up, 6.1K, but I think he's going to be low owned, and they need him to win this game. They can't run Marc Gasol out for 20 minutes or more than 20 minutes. They just can't. I'm hoping Nick Nurse. I don't know. I mean, it looks like Ibaka's been playing more recently. He's figured out that Ibaka is the best way to win that. Pick and rolls, he can shoot the ball from the outside. It just makes sense. So 6.1K is not a cash game play, but it's a very good tournament play if you're going for the balanced build. Raptors are my team today. I like Raptors. I like the Clippers, as Mangone does as well. So I will have interest for sure.
We real quick. Hold on. We got to talk about the chat. First of all, one thing I wanted to mention in the chat is we got guys that they're beating me up for this Millsap tournament take. Like, listen, you can't just. They're saying it's like PJ Dozier, dude. Dort was terrible, but what did Dort go out and do the next day? You can't just say, "Oh, what happened yesterday is going to happen today." Like, prices adjust. Like, you got to be adapting. You got to be changing to what's going to go on. Just like these coaches are making changes. Like, I won a GPP yesterday. I won the 2-2-2 on FanDuel. I split it with a bunch of people, but I was on that team and Dort was on it. Like, and everyone been like, "Oh, Dort only played 20 minutes. He was terrible." Like, listen, value's value. And if it comes your way, you got to be looking to do that and taking those advantages on a lower owned guy. So he was like 25% on like that type of slate. Like, it's a 2-game slate. 25% is kind of low. And Holden, I got to get on you a little bit. Like, where's our likes from these people, man? We're not like only 44. What's going on here?
I didn't do it today. It was an early start. I didn't do it.
Fair enough. So I guess I got to take over for it. Guys, hit the like for us, man. We need the likes. So
we're not getting to 100 now. It's okay.
Well, we still need them, man.
Do we today? Do we need our likes today, Travis?
I want them every day. I'm greedy, Holden. I want them every day, man. Hit those likes, guys. But we appreciate it. It helps us out a ton.
It does. But early start today, I'm all thrown off. I got Colin Moran hitting a double. I mean, things are. Oh, congrats on your win last night too, man. I didn't know that. The 222. That's Travis money right there.
It was good. It was a good night on FanDuel, but like it was just such a dupe. Not it was such a duped lineup, but it was duped enough where it was like, it could have been right. It's more fun when it's by yourself. So that
lineup passed me. The lineup passed me. I was hoping because I had the Bledsoe, I had the Adams, and because I had Dort too, and then I had Middleton, and I needed that overtime in that Milwaukee game to keep going up. So that was definitely a good lineup. But yeah, like Dort, we were mentioning him in Discord too. Just 25% for a 3.7 starter who plays defense, and they needed him to play defense. Just that you guys got to sign off for Rumpier if you're not. I mean, that's the information you get. Someone in chat said that they split the 222 with you guys as well. That's awesome to hear. Hoop had Corp, everyone that he had in his lineup. He had Schroeder in his core plays, everything. So definitely check out Rumpier. It was a great day for us yesterday.
Anthony Rizzo's 0 for 1 already. That's it. Throw my tournament lineup away.
Hey, has Hap or Schwarber anyone done anything? I haven't even looked.
No, the Cubs haven't done. Let's see here. It's 1-0. I don't know how the Cubs scored. I've been talking basketball here. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, me too. Haven't been looking.
No time for this. Here, I'll tell you right now who hit it. It was no, it wasn't even a home run. It was Schwarber and Vic Caratini at 0.7%. Step it up here.
Cubs bottom of the order. There we go.
Well, I have Kipnis, so hopefully Kipnis hits a home run. I do. Look, listen, likes. So today was my fault, I guess, and Mangone's trying to get me in trouble, and that's fine, Mangone. If we're going to start a rivalry and I have to shank you, wouldn't be the first or the last time, okay? You'll probably be the 47th person I've shanked.
Yeah, if you're going to start a fight with anyone, probably Mangone's the move, not Travis. Mangone's the good guy to pick on.
Yeah, all right, Mangone. That's it. I'm not messing with you anymore, though. What did we get? 59 likes? How about this? We get 5 likes in the next 30 seconds. I'll pick someone out, and you can get a small. You can get a small shirt.
I like it. Let's get rid of those smalls. I like that call.
You like that? All right. So again, just to go over this here, any last thoughts on the NBA thing? I mean, if you're stacking one team, who's the team tonight, guys? Who are we stacking?
Clippers, if you want to. So I think it's the Clippers if you want to go stars and scrubs. You get Kawhi, you get Paul George, and you use the Clippers value. If you want to take more of a balanced build, I like going Toronto with Van Vliet and Lowry and them. And I'm on Toronto and the Clippers, so that's who I'm going to be loading up on. It's not saying I won't have some pieces from the other teams. Ooh,
that was
it's not saying. Yeah, no, you're good. It's not saying that I'm not going to take guys from the Nuggets and other spots. Like, you're going to need them. It's a 2-game slate, but if I'm stacking, I'm going to take who I think is going to win and put up more points. That's the Clippers and Toronto.
All right, Mangone, Clippers, Toronto, Boston, Paul Millsap. You love it all.
Oh, I'm on mute here. I'm messing up. Yeah,
Rookie
I think
mistake.
I think we said it all. So yeah, I mean, Zubac's another guy. Like I said, I mentioned earlier. I want to dig into those numbers a bit, but Jokic inside, just like, have you seen that defense this series? It's been just so pathetic. So yeah, Zubac's been good. He seems like he's grown a little bit. So yeah, he's another guy I'm looking at too. Decent value to look at, and overall, it should be a fun slate. I'm excited for it, and yeah, now I have something to look forward to. We're also going to have the showdown slate tonight, so check that out. So Rubio or Big T, someone will be putting that together. So if you're looking for some showdown content, we'll have that. And I feel obligated now to make a Captain Paul Millsap team, or else chat might kill me. But
hey, I got to ask you this question, then. Like, if you're playing showdown GPPs, what's the minimum amount of lineups you would throw in the showdown? Because you can't just play one, can you? Like, I mean, different pieces to the puzzle.
I do it all the time. Like tonight, I literally might just play one. Like, it depends if I feel like grinding it out. I might just put one in the 15 just for fun, and I make it super unique. Like, I obviously not like stupid. I'm not playing PJ Dozier captain. But yeah, I'm gonna do something to try and win it all. Like, I'm just playing when I play those showdown slates. If I'm not like going hard after, and I'm just like watching the game, and I want to throw one in and try and chip the big 100K. I just throw one in and just kind of, practice some like unique game theory, right?
Paul Millsap and the captain.
There you go. Maybe it'll have to be it.
For me, for showdown, you guys can call me crazy. Sometimes, like yesterday, MLB, I play this one guy in head-to-head every day, and he had Mike Brusso. Brasu. How do you pronounce the name? Holden, Brusso. Played him. The other guy had him, and he double dongs. So I'm already drawn dead in MLB just because I pretty much play him every day. Looked at the late slate or looked at the showdown, and I played cash. I sometimes play cash for single game NBA over on FanDuel. And there is an edge. I see a lot of big names do it as well. There's always an edge in anything, in any sport. So you can play one lineup and put it in cash for showdowns and still be very successful. You don't just need to play one tournament lineup and stuff like that. So just wanted to bring that up as well. It's something I don't always do, but if I have time, or like I said, I was so tilted over the double dong yesterday from him. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw some money in the showdown, and it ended up working out. So you can do that. Just you gotta be different with your builds if you want to do tournaments or cash, of course.
I like you guys. I just don't want to listen to you anymore. I got other things to do today. This is beautiful. Build my showdown lineup tonight. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch the show, dude. Do we know what time it is? It's not a show. It's
article. No, it's article. The playbook. Yeah,
what's the
playbook? I said a show. That's my bad. It's a playbook. Yeah, it'll be. I'm sure like a couple hours before lock. So
okay.
The Run Pure Sports Twitter account will tweet it out. Yeah, it'll be in the Discord, I'm sure too. So we'll have core plays as well. We got it all: cash core plays, GVP core plays, the big T ones. I mean, we'll have it all.
Poor JSU. They just crush him in chat. He's not even on the show. All right.
JSU's always in Discord grinding. You can't be hating on.
He's on the YouTube chat. For Titletown and Travis and Mangone, and for Captain back in the studio, I'm Holden Kushner. I hope you played Colin Moran Day Baseball. And you just wait for that Kipnis Grand Slam later on. It's going to be amazing. We'll catch you later.